I'm Davis Witten-Klebanoff, and I identify as homosexual. I don't feel like I'm able to trust people as easily now that I've seen the results of what people in this country support. Right now, I think I'm more afraid about his supporters, about the people who have been motivated by him, the people who have been beating up black people, Hispanic people at his rallies. Those are the people that I'm most afraid of right now, but in a couple months, he's gonna be in office and he'll be able to do whatever he wants. And his running mate, Mike Pence, has already said that he'll roll back the LGBT ruling for the Supreme Court last year, so who knows what'll happen? Anything could happen at this point.
Hi, my name is Isabella Kalish. I'm a trans woman at UMBC. I am Jewish also. I grew up Orthodox. Throughout this election, I started off actually being a Trump fan, but then once he announced that Pence would be his running mate, that's when I really started getting worried. He's very anti-LGBT. He wants to divert funds from HIV studies to go towards conversion therapy, which almost all medical professionals say is very unethical. And as a matter of fact, there were conversion therapy sessions and people who were gay were encouraged to commit suicide as opposed to living as someone who's gay. So when I see people saying that Trump should be assassinated because they don't like him, I say to those people, think about how much worse it will be if we have Pence take over. And that should be a very big concern for people.
My name is Leslie Gray, and I am a black woman. I'm very sad about this election. I never thought that I would live in a time that I've read about in history books. I never thought that we would be moving backwards, and I feel like that's exactly what's happening because of this election. My heart breaks for how much hate is in the world, but especially how much hate is in America. And I think that we do need to come together as a country, but we first need to learn to love the people that are around us who are different, because there's no way that we can move forward if we don't learn to love each other. I don't know that I'm gonna still be a part of America when Trump is inaugurated. I honestly felt like I was in a dream. I felt like I was in some type of distorted reality where somebody else has control of the world and things aren't going to progress the way that they were.
My name is Brittany and I'm female. Well, I think my access to choice is going to be incredibly limited over the next 4 years, which is terrifying. For me, coming from a family who has a long and losing history with reproductive cancers, I'm terrified that I'm not going to be able to get screened for things that might kill me. And that when I find out, it'll be too late. I'm scared that I'm not going to be able to be in charge of my own body, and that if someone uses my body in a way that I don't want and forces me to do something, that no one is going to protect me, and that no one is going to stand up for my autonomy, let alone the autonomy of all of the other women and all of the transgender women. No one's gonna care, and that's what I'm terrified about.
My name is Samuel Winnie, and I am gay, so yeah. You know, look at the statements that Pence has said, look at the statements that, you know, Trump has said. You know, they're both totally willing to select a Supreme Court justice who is gonna, you know, repeal LGBT protections. Well, where does that leave me in terms of if I'm trying to get a job? The company could very well in the future just say, oh, sorry, you're gay, that's not gonna chill with our vibe, so you're going. So you know, just in terms of how I'm going to be financially in the future, it's nightmarish. And if we let that get the better of us, then, you know, all the fighting that we've done will have been for nothing.
My name is Liz Ung, and I am mixed race. I am half Chinese, half white. There's not going to be any more secrets anymore. Like, no one is going to be in the closet racists. Nobody's going to be, you know, trying to keep their mouth shut anymore because of what Donald Trump has done to give them a soapbox, give them this opportunity to, you know, speak their mind without really thinking about it. His followers is what I fear, because, you know, an acquaintance of mine got attacked yesterday for, you know, wearing her hijab, and apparently, and you know, they're big in numbers, and that will be a very dangerous thing, especially, you know, if you are just a single person, you know, just being yourself.
Hi, my name's Caleb, and I am part of the LGBTQ plus minority group. I personally identify as gay. When the election results came in, I was at my boyfriend's house and we were laying in bed. The only thing he said was, "I'm scared." And that moment for me was just absolutely heartbreaking, just because as much as I would like to say that I surround myself with people who are progressive and accept me for who I am, me having a support group doesn't change the fact that the public doesn't like who I am. I saw an article today about Trump holding up an LGBT flag and saying how he's so progressive because no president has ever done that, but you can hold a flag. Anyone can hold a flag. He actively chose someone as his running mate who hates me.
Well, my name's Daniela Fujigaki, and I'm a Latina woman. I've always been an activist. I haven't just worked hard for immigrants and for refugees. I've also worked hard for poor people. I've worked for, you know, homeless shelters and donated my time and money and food, and I feel betrayed. I feel like none of that counted. I feel like people just see me walking down the street and think, oh, you know, she's one of them. They don't see like all the work I've put into this country and to making it truly great. They just, you know, see a stereotype. And even if you don't support everything you said, like he said, by casting your vote for him and not caring about all those other groups, it shows a lack of moral compass, a lack of empathy, a lack of awareness for what really goes on in your country. And I hope we're all prepared to face the decision that this country has made in the next 4 years.
I'm Elliott, and I'm trans and queer.
I'm Mars, and I am a gay trans man.
The fact that this fear is like consuming people already, and there's already casualties, and it's literally like the second day that he's been announced the president-elect.
I feel like I felt that feeling that those cases that have come out of trans suicides that happened that night, like that emotion, like I felt it. And I kind of knew in that moment that there were people that are part of my community that weren't gonna make it through that night. When somebody who is in office is able to have these views and hold these views, it's really gonna empower the people who are transphobic or homophobic or otherwise like harmful to both me and to others in my community. It's really gonna empower them, unfortunately, and that is gonna disenfranchise me and other people in my community.
I was like kind of worried like going to work because like I don't look very straight, and like I don't always look that cis, and like so people, you know, may or may not, a lot of the people who shop at the place I work, they support Trump. Like the neighborhoods around it have Trump signs. Like they're people who are unaffected by like any like terrible decisions he could make towards like minorities, and they're like, I don't know what I'm more afraid of, like zealous people or people who are completely unaffected and couldn't care less.
And like surviving and also like thriving out of spite almost. Like I'm gonna channel all of this anger that I feel right now, channel it into really helpful and like real behavior.
My name is Sarah Nabilsi, and I am a Muslim and an Arab American. I am shocked, to say the least. I didn't imagine that this would happen. I think that a lot of US didn't imagine that this would happen. But what scares me the most isn't what he'll do, it's the social environment that's being created. When I was in middle school, after Saddam was shot, a kid came up to me and in all honesty told me he was sorry for my loss. And it's like now they're justified in their violence and their ideals, that the person that they believe should lead this country, that somebody who has these ideas was elected by the majority, that it's giving them free rein. I'm sorry, there's no excuse. There's no excuse.
Don't be afraid. That's what they want, is to be afraid. That's how Trump won in the first place, is through fear. So don't stoop to their level. We're better than them. Just take it easy and things will work out, hopefully.